Hello, my name is Julie from Dragonfly Awakening of Colorado. And this video is for beginners who are just learning about dowsing and pendulums. So if you've ever struggled with decision making or felt disconnected from your intuition, or just felt like you needed to gain more clarity about a certain situation, um, you're probably going to love dowsing. I love dowsing. It is simple, it's accessible, and once you get the hang of it, it can be hugely life-changing. It certainly has been for me, and so I'm really excited to share this with you today. And this is just the beginning. I'll be providing content on everything from energy clearing to developing a deeper spiritual connection to developing your accuracy. So make sure you like and subscribe, and just keep an eye out for more notifications from us. What is dowsing? Dowsing is a method of connecting with your intuition or subtle energies, or even your spirit guides, angels, to access information that is beyond the five senses. There are many tools that you can use for dowsing. The main one I use is a pendulum. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. There are other tools, but they're all just to get yes, no, and other kinds of answers, sometimes directional answers. For example, if you're dowsing for water or minerals or something like that. A lot of people think of dowsing as a spiritual or energetic compass, something that helps them really connect with their intuition, their guides, something that helps them make wise decisions in life. You can gain clarity on pretty much anything in your life using dowsing. So just a brief history of where it started. Dowsing has been used for thousands of years. There's actually evidence of it was discovered in caves in Africa, about dating back to like 8,000 years ago, where it depicts a figure holding a forked stick to find water. That's originally the reason why people used dowsing, just to find water. And eventually it turned into searching for underground minerals, searching for lost people, lost objects, lost animals, lost everything, to energy assessment, energy clearing, energy healing, picking dates for events, picking what shirt you want to wear today, picking how many tacos you want to eat. The list goes on and on and on. People discovered that this was just so hugely beneficial for pretty much everything that you can think of. So that's a brief history. So my dowsing story started when I was probably in my late teens, early 20s, and my mom introduced me to it. She had a pocket watch, and she showed me that you can swing it around and get yes and no answers, and you could even use it to clear energy and do some healing, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And so me and my mom, and I believe my sister was there too, we would just do little energy healing sessions with each other. And so that was my start with it. And then, life happened, and somehow dowsing just fell off my radar for a while. And finally, back in, I believe it was 2012, I got another pendulum again, and I just got back into dowsing. And it was a great time because I didn't know it at the time, but dowsing was going to help me tremendously with my anxiety. I had terrible anxiety at the time. decisions like picking out what shirt to wear today seemed so important, like on the level of what job should I be doing? What is my purpose in life? So it was kind of debilitating. And dowsing really helped me through just gaining more clarity and helping me to make decisions with my life. And it's just helped me to transform so much between 2012 and now. And so I'm really happy to be sharing it with you, because hopefully it will help you too. So what do I use dowsing for now? I use it for pretty much everything. I use it for making decisions. I use it for, what to eat that's healthy for me. I use it for energy clearing, for energizing, for energy healing. I use it for contact with my spirit guides and angels, and just all kinds of spiritual guidance and connection. So that's what I use it for now. But let's get you started on the essentials, and we can get to all the good stuff later on. Let's just this is going to be an easy guide on how to get started with pendulum dowsing. So how do you choose a pendulum? Your first pendulum, actually, I would suggest that you don't buy anything. I would suggest that you use stuff that you have on hand at home. For example, all you really need is a weight on a chain or a weight on a string. So you could use a necklace pendant, or you could use a nail hanging from a string, or a net, or a ring hanging from a string, or anything like that. You can fashion something at home with things that you have on hand. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you're somebody who's like, I'm really into pendulums all of a sudden, and I want to get I want to get like a real pendulum from a metaphysical store, then you're a lot like me, because I have probably like 50 or so pendulums myself. How to pick a pendulum from a store? It can be pretty easy. For your first pendulums, I'll just recommend that you first of all, it's best to go into a metaphysical shop and see the pendulums for yourself. Be there face to face with them, be able to hold them. The one that jumps out at you, the one that seems to sing to you, get that one. It's pretty easy to identify. If you either don't have that luxury of going to a metaphysical shop, or you'd just rather buy things online, there are good retailers for that, like sagegoddess.com. I've gotten some of my pendulums there. You can find them on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, all kinds of places. So just go out and just find the one that sings to you. And that'll be just fine for your first pendulum. Okay. Once you get your pendulum, how do you hold it? What do you do with it? So let's start with how to hold it. There are a few different ways. I'll show you a few different ways. The last one I'll show you is my preferred way. So the first one that I see a lot of people doing is holding it all the way at the end like this. Just all the way at the end, and they'll get their swing from that. I only sometimes use that, and I only use it when the swing that I'm getting is so strong that it's just like gonna fly out of my hand if I do it any other way. So that's the only reason why I would hold it like that. And it's a perfectly valid way to hold it. If that works for you, go ahead and do it. It might take you a lot longer to get your answers, because you've got just so much momentum going, so much momentum to get going. So that's one way. That's one way to hold it. Another way that I've only seen one person recommend this, but it was a pretty influential person, so I think I should probably mention it, is draping it over the hand like this. And they say that holding it this way removes your influence on it. I personally think that's debatable. I think that you're going to have some amount of influence over your pendulum, whether you hold it that way or not. And it's a little bit, honestly, I just find it to be a little bit clunky and awkward. But it, you know, some people do feel that that removes your influence. So if that's how you feel, you try it out and see what you like. This next way is the way that I've seen most teachers teach it, where you go about 1.5 to 2 inches above the weight, and you hold it there, and you hold the string or chain inside of your hand like that. Okay, you just hold it inside of your hand like that. That's the main way that people tend to do it. That, as far as I'm concerned, is considered to be the correct way to hold it. I go a little bit further with it. Take this if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But what I do, because I keep such a light hold on my pendulum, I've kind of trained myself to do this because I feel like that removes some of my influence from it. I keep such a light hold on it, but I do such long pendulum sessions that eventually it falls out of my hand. And you get some broken pendulums out of that, so you don't want to do that. So what I do is I'll actually wrap a little of the chain around my middle finger. And there's usually a little ball here on the commercially available pendulums. So I'll wrap this a little bit around my middle finger, and I'll kind of push my middle finger and index finger together, and I'll hold it like this. So remember, you have to have your index finger pointing down like that, and your thumb down, holding it in between your index finger and your thumb. And I find that even if I hold it lightly, if it falls, it just kind of does that. So I don't have to worry about it breaking, falling on the floor and breaking. Okay, so that's how I hold it. Just a little thing, a little bit over the middle finger, and holding it between my thumb and index finger, like that, with maybe a little bit of slack there. Make sense? Swinging yes. Okay. So once you figure out how to hold the pendulum, now it's time to calibrate. So calibration, I will explain the whole process. Not everybody does it this way. I like to do it this way. I think it's important, especially when you're a beginner, to make sure that you calibrate every time until you're getting some consistent results. But yeah, just plan on doing this every time. And it's not going to take long. My explanation of it might take a little bit, but it really doesn't take long to actually do this. So the first thing you want to do is take a few deep breaths. Get yourself grounded, get your body pretty relaxed, clear your mind. You want to be in a mentally neutral state, neutral or positive state when you are dowsing. You don't want to be in a negative place, or a low vibrational place, I'll say, because if you are in a low vibrational state, your answers are going to come from a low vibrational place. So just make sure that this part is essential. You have to get yourself cleared, grounded, okay with any answer that comes through, right? Okay. So now that you've grounded yourself and you've taken a few deep breaths, and you're in a neutral place or positive state. Now you want to set an intention for what types of questions you're going to ask in this session. I would recommend, for if it's your first time, just set an intention that you want to get a clear yes, no, and maybe response in this session. Okay. But again, you're going to be doing this calibration process every time. So when you set an intention for the types of questions that you're going to ask, it also helps you to decide where those answers are going to come from, which is the next step. Decide where you want your answers to come from. If you don't decide, if you don't purposely connect with that level that you want it to come from, usually it'll default to your subconscious. I don't think it always does, but usually I think it does. That's a part of you where it can be a good thing if you want to explore, what fears you have, or what subconscious beliefs you have going on that you may not even be aware of. That's a really good practice to kind of test yourself out and see what false beliefs you have that you might need to change. That's a good reason to connect with the subconscious. Otherwise, I would recommend, for this first try connecting with your higher self or your spirit guides. Okay, pick one of those. So after you decide that, I'm going to connect with my higher self. The next thing that you're going to do is ask your pendulum, please show me a yes response. So my yes response is a clockwise spin. Okay. Whatever response you get, that's okay. That's for you. I've seen some teachers who say, no, your yes has to be this, your no has to be this. I respectfully disagree. Whatever response you get, as long as that's something that's consistent for you, is going to be good for you. Okay. So my yes response is clockwise. Yours could be something different. That's fine. Now I want to say, people freak out sometimes when their pendulum starts moving on its own. They're like, oh my God, Julie, it's moving. I'm not moving it, but it's moving. And it's okay. Don't freak out. You actually are moving it. You're just not consciously aware of it. It's called an ideomotor response. So the ideomotor response is basically just signals coming from your subconscious mind or your higher self that are coming through and translating into these micro muscle movements that are moving the pendulum for you. So you're not aware of it, but it is happening, and it is one way that we connect with our intuition when we're doing this. So it feels really cool and it's really mystical, but it actually, so just know some part of you is moving it, but you are connecting to something higher if you have set that intention to do so. Now for some of you, you may not get a response right away. Like if you are just sitting with the pendulum hanging like this, it might just keep hanging. It may not move at all. For me, it'll just start moving on its own sometimes. My guides know by this point that, sometimes I need energy cleared, and they'll just do it automatically for me sometimes. So you sometimes just see it moving for me. But if you're a beginner and you've never done this before, if it's sitting there, that's okay. You can get it rolling, okay? Try swinging it this way, back and forth, or, up and down based on your perspective. And ask for a yes response again. Say, please show me a yes response. It may move in another direction, and then your yes response. Okay? If you swing it this way and it doesn't change direction, maybe try swinging it clockwise and ask for a yes response again. So, please show me a yes response. See, it's swinging clockwise still because my yes response is clockwise. So, Hopefully that makes sense. Just try swinging it in different directions. And what you're watching for is for it to change direction when you ask the question, show me my yes response. Okay? And once it shows you that, you have your yes. Okay? Next thing you want to do is ask for your no response. My no is a counterclockwise spin. And again, whatever you get, that's what's right for you. Okay? Next thing you want to ask is, show me my maybe response. So, my maybe is the up and down swing like this. You can also ask please show me my maybe or not now response. Or you can separate those if you want. You can have a separate response for not now. I tend to combine maybe and not now. What not now means is either the answer is not available at this time, or for whatever reason you're just not allowed to know it yet. So it can be a good thing to incorporate too, but yeah, it just kind of depends on your preference if you want that kind of response coming through. Okay. And then just ask any other questions that you have. If you've gotten your yes and no responses, you're like, okay, cool. Is the capital of Colorado Denver? Just ask whatever questions you might have. Again, you did set an intention, but at this point, if you're just getting your yes, no, maybe responses, you can probably just keep going with a few things. Keep in mind, if you are a beginner, take your answers with a grain of salt for now, okay? I will get into other videos where we'll talk about improving accuracy and things like that. So tips and common mistakes that people make. When you're a beginner, you can't rely on every answer you get being right. And please do not beat yourself up about it. It's just practice. Even the best dowsers in the world do not have 100% accuracy in dowsing. So you just got to keep that in mind and just keep practicing, okay? And once you're done with your session, once you've asked all your questions, say thank you. You just want to release any entity or energy that you called in to answer your questions. Release them with gratitude. Say thank you. And you're done. So, sounds like kind of a long process, but it's just because I've been explaining it. It actually only takes a few minutes to do it. So yeah, just keep practicing. Follow that calibration process every time you do it, especially at first, especially when you're first starting to learn. It can be a huge benefit to you. Just keep practicing. I promise it gets a lot better from here. Dowsing has been one of the most beneficial tools that I've used to cut through confusion, making powered choices, gain clarity. It only gets better with practice. I promise, just keep practicing. If you have any comments or questions or topics that you'd like me to cover, please feel free to drop those in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Some of my upcoming content will provide information on dowsing accuracy, how to get more accurate answers, some tips and common mistakes, how to cleanse and charge your tools. There is so much information that I have to share on the subject of dowsing. But if you stick with it and watch my videos, it'll really help you to gain a much better understanding and make your experience of dowsing much richer and much more rewarding. So I encourage you to stay tuned, and I look forward to sharing more content with you. Also, if you'd like a little cheat sheet that shows all the information that I shared in today's video, just something to have as a guide while you're going through the process, I've shared a PDF in the description. So go ahead and download that. It's free, and Just a little cheat sheet to help you remember everything we covered. And thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.